is a unification fight, which means that the WBC champion, Viktor Postol, will fight against the WBO champion, Terence Crawford. They're both undefeated. They are the two best 140-pounders around today.
Everybody say it's a 50-50 fight. But in my eyes, I'm looking at going in there and destroying this man right here.
Honestly, I saw Crawford before the press conference, and he seemed confident with all his people around. But then when we faced each other, I could see in his eyes that he doesn't want to fight me.
Him and Freddie Roach know they can't beat Terence. You're gonna sit your ass in that corner, you're gonna shut the f up, and you're gonna watch your guy get his ass beat.
Terence Crawford is the next guy. Most people who follow the sport closely have his name on the tip of their tongue.
Crawford is slick, he's smart, he's got speed, he's got pop. He's just complete a fighter as you have in the world today.
At any given moment in the ring, I can switch up and do something totally different.
Crawford looks functionally ambidextrous.
Crawford is the closest thing to Marvelous Marvin when it comes to switching that I've seen in 20 years.
If you start to kind of get a little groove, he'll switch to southpaw. He's got so many tools in his arsenal.
When you're in shape, when you prepare yourself to the best of your abilities, nobody can beat you.
I don't care that Postol is not worried about us. That's even better for us. I mean, maybe he might come and fight and not run and hold.
Viktor Postol is a newly crowned champion. Viktor Postol just stopped in an upset a guy that we know is a beast, that we know is a warrior, that we never expect to quit.
This is over. Viktor Postol has knocked out Lucas Matisse.
Freddie Roach is an offensive-minded coach. Freddie trains him to be an assassin.
Crawford switches and he boxes well from both sides, but he's not knocking nobody out with the move and so forth. When Mickey Ward did it, Mickey Ward knocked people out with when he did it. I was more impressed with that than I am with Crawford.
What Freddie Roach doing? Cashing out. How can you train a fighter that you never be with? Stupid. But don't come in my country and tell me you gonna beat us. You gonna beat a damn thing the night of the fight.
Well, I told him personally, I don't like your style. I told him you gotta stand upright more because you don't have power. But he told me, he said, that keeps him away from me. I pied him off, and then later on, I get down into him, and I get him tired, and then I go to work on him. So I said, well, it must work out for you, champ. He goes, it does, doesn't it?
I always had the confidence. Me turning pro, I always asked for bigger fights than where I was at. When I was 10-0, I would ask to fight a guy 15-0. Or I asked to fight a guy that I see on TV because I knew in my heart that I could beat that guy, but he was where I wanted to be. But my managers always would tell me, just take your time, relax, your day will come.
Yuriorkis Gamboa was his coming out party. I mean, this is the same Gamboa who was avoided by Juanma Lopez. That's a fight that everybody wanted to see, and so it was really his big test to see if he was legit.
Gamboa is a fighter that we expected to do better than what he's been able to do. Gamboa had the name. We thought maybe that this was a fight in which Gamboa was going to begin to make his comeback, that maybe Gamboa was the guy on the rise, and this Terence Crawford, we were just kind of waiting to see, is this guy for real?
The winner of this fight will be the undisputed star of the lightweight division. A lot of skill, a lot of speed, a lot of talent in this ring tonight.
And the fight, originally in the beginning, seemed to be, I wouldn't say a mismatch, but a slight edge for Gamboa. He's probably gonna win this fight.
Expected it to be.
Came out fast, fast feet, fast hands, trying to catch me coming in, but then I had to adjust.
Crawford is turning the tide just a little bit and is landing his right jab out of the southpaw stance.
And once I adjust, then I felt like I was in control.
Terence Crawford is a guy that doesn't fight fast. He doesn't begin quick. He actually takes his time because he's that confident in his skills that when he needs to switch gears, he can. And when he did, he blew Gamboa off the map.
Down goes Gamboa. Tremendous right-hand shot as Gamboa was coming in. And he just changed the fight with one tremendous right-hand shot.
Fight was spectacular. It was entertaining.
Down goes Gamboa one more time.
It was the kind of thing that had you on the edge of your seat.
Oh, down goes Gamboa. Third knockdown for Crawford.
And what's most important for a fighter beyond winning is to leave the fans wanting more and absolutely having to see this guy in the ring again.
Coming forward. Down goes Gamboa, and that'll do it. Fourth knockdown of the fight, and a knockout for Terence Crawford.
That was a great fight. A great fight.
And a star-making performance of the highest order.
A fight that I think is underrated by maybe casual fans or observers who may have just tuned in because they'd seen him before but don't know Ray Beltran. That fight proved that Terence Crawford could get in there with a class fighter. Ray Beltran has skills, and when he got in that ring, he was prepared. We saw the best that he could do, and Ray Beltran has done awfully good in this sport. So for a guy on the come up like Crawford, to be able to best him in that way, to be able to stay patient, to be able to execute his game plan, and to truly best Beltran in every department was impressive.
From Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Crawford.
I feel like there's no plan in the ring. We're not friends in the ring. I don't want to be your friend. So when I get in that ring, it's all or nothing. Well, Lundy, he's been chasing me for about 2 years now, calling me out, saying I was scared of him, and he wanted to fight, and he was gonna knock me out.
Every punch I hit you with, you gonna feel Philadelphia. You gonna feel my pain, my struggle. You gonna feel Hammer and Hank.
Tank had been talking mess for 2 years on Twitter, on Facebook, disrespecting Terence and his family, his girl.
Hank Lundy was able to get under Terence Crawford's skin, who is already a kind of mean guy. But what Hank Lundy ultimately did was put a landmine under his feet.
I was relaxed, I was calm, I was cool, I never rushed anything. I never went out there to try to knock his head off.
And when you see a fighter in there that gives his opponent no quarter and takes chances that he doesn't have to take just to get the job done, you're looking at a star.
Crawford's wailing away at Lundy in the corner, and Wilson didn't stop it. And just like that, last will tell. Terence Crawford has another big knockout victory.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought.
This is over.
I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postol, Saturday, July 23rd, live on pay-per-view.
Я подошел к чемпионскому бою, и я был готов на самого сильного. Ну, я так скажу, что все вот эти мои поединки...
When I think back to my career, all of my opponents throughout my professional career have been tough. My promoter gave me tough fights, so I could gain experience and be ready to fight for a championship belt. Each fight has been tougher than the next, and it has been very, very good for me.
I know Viktor Postol is an amicable guy. I think he's a positive, happy warrior. And he's a calm and collected guy. And he's a patient guy. And that's what we saw against Matisse.
Как только записывает,
When I learned that I was going to fight Lucas Matisse, I was extremely confident from the first day that I would win this fight, even though most people thought and were saying that this was an easy fight for him, that he would knock me out, because he's a big puncher and a real slugger. But I didn't let those words influence me at all.
Lucas Matisse is a one-punch knockout kind of guy. He's a guy that has spectacularly demolished people.
We knew that he was going to try to knock me out in the early rounds. So the goal was not to take any big punches in the first half of the fight. And then after round 6, press the offense.
And coming back with his own combination. Hurts Matisse with the right hand.
Viktor Postol, he's a steady fighter. One of those rare fighters who knows how to use his height and his reach. He really works his way until you get comfortable, and then he can crack you and then put you out.
To get the right hand to work behind the jab, you have to get a little bit closer. So he was closing it up, getting enough distance.
That is a knockdown. We've got a count. And Matisse is down.
You know, that's all about timing and distance. His timing's great, and he did walk him right into that shot. That was a great finish for us. It was funny because when he knocked him down with the right hand, everyone jumped up and thought the fight was over, and I just stayed on my stool because I said, it's not over yet. And Matisse always gets up. And I was really surprised that he didn't get up, because he's a game guy, and I mean, that punch must have really hurt him to keep him on the deck.
Viktor Postol is a newly crowned champion. Viktor Postol just stopped in an upset a guy that we know is a beast, that we know is a warrior, that we never expect to quit.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought. I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postol, Saturday, July 23rd, live on pay-per-view.
I dream about boxing a couple of times, and it was just like being the #1. You know, that was just my goal, my ambition.
See, this the deal. Come out here, chill out, get a peace of mind. You know, just relax, be at peace, think about the fight, thinking about how the fight gonna go. All them things run through your mind when you at peace.
This my boy Chaos.
What it do? What's up with y'all?
This is my bro Wayne.
Yeah.
And this No Fishing Richard. Y'all gonna see, I'm gonna be the first one to catch something.
Where'd you take that from your kids?
I've been fishing since I was little. My grandpa, my dad, my uncles, they all fished. But it was just something that I loved to do as a youngster. My mom be looking for me, I'll be fishing. There's not many boxers that have came out of Nebraska, let alone Omaha. So when you hear a boxer coming out of Omaha, Nebraska, you hear Terence Crawford. I was born there. My mom and my daddy had me there. If I could, I'd buy every house on this street, because this is where it all started. This the house where I grew up at. This the house, you know, I started boxing at. You can be sitting here and you can hear gunshots on the next street, this street. It don't matter. Gang crime, you know, you got people robbing people, stealing, all that stuff. You gotta protect yourself at all times, just like in the ring, but at the same time, you just stay out the way. You stay out their way, they stay out yours.
There's a lot of hidden talent in Omaha. It just don't get a lot of national attention, except for Omaha, what's it called? Omaha, Mutual of Omaha, Wild Kingdom. I fought with his dad and his uncle back in like 1978. He walked in the gym at the age of 7. He had a very good amateur record, man. He won the Ringside World Tournament, Pan Am Games, the PAL tournament, the tournament called the Blue and Gold. He beat some world champions that's now.
I worked my way up to fighting for the USA team and fighting to try to make it to the Olympics. Me growing up without a father in my life all the time, it was hard. Being at home, full of girls, and you just tend to be out in the streets more. You know, my mom did the best she could to keep me in the house, but she had to work. So when she was working, I was gone.
Well, he always told me he was gonna be somebody and he was gonna be rich. That's what he used to tell me all the time. Mom, I'm gonna be rich one day. And I used to tell him he ain't gonna be and he fooled me. He was bad. Bad. He got a whooping at least twice a week.
When he was a teenager, he got
No, I stopped whooping him at, what, 13? He stopped getting whooped at like 13. Well, he thought. I still was trying to whoop him.
I got through out of a high school, and I had to go to another high school. And I got through out of that high school, I had to go to an alternative school.
He put me through a lot, running back and forth to these schools. I think when he got shot, and then he had these kids.
I had to whip him into shape. Thank me for it.
He got shot, he just changed, did a big U-turn.
I got shot in the head in 2008, you know, leaving the dice game. You know, the bullet hit me and it bounced off my skull and out because the window made the bullet spin instead of going straight.
Scary. Yep, scary. But when I got there, he's sitting on the bed laughing, talking about he about to go fight on TV. And I'm looking at him, no, you ain't. He's like, Mom, look, do you want to see him stitch me up? No, my stomach is turning, I got to get up out of here.
Ever since I got shot, life's been great. Got my girl pregnant. When I got her pregnant, it just changed me. That's what I do. Come here, check on my mom, my grandma. Other than that, I don't do too much. Go fishing, go to the gym. That's it. Me and Red boxed together when I was a little kid.
Good work.
Saul boxed in the same gym as me when I was a little kid. Brian was boxing when I was a little kid. We all came up in the same gym, same coach, same era. They was just older than me. I always had a professional style. Growing up, my coach never trained us to be amateurs. He always trained us to be professionals. So when we go inside the square ring, we was fighting as if we was a professional fighter instead of shoe shining and pity-patting. Ever since I was a little kid, I always fought both ways for some reason. My coach would get mad at me like, what is you doing? Go back right-handed. Why you always turning southpaw? But then it got to the point where, all right, since you want to keep turning that way, we're going to perfect it. We're going to work both ways. So it came natural to me.
He don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do no drugs. He don't allow that in his house. He don't allow it around him. I mean, he lives a very, very clean lifestyle. He likes to fish a lot, you know, fish and ride dirt bikes, but other than that, man, he's pretty clean.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought. I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postol, Saturday, July 23rd, live on pay-per-view.
Всегда, когда я выступаю, я всегда
Every time I walk into the ring, I always support my country. I am very proud to be Ukrainian. I'm very proud to be a citizen of this beautiful country. And the people of this country support me when I fight. There are many monuments here that honor the people that fought in the Second World War. These people are our grandfathers and grandmothers, and they fought and died for freedom. What they did made it possible for my generation to live in a free country. More recently, our people have tried very hard to enter the European Union, but our previous president did not adopt a petition to make this happen. And there was a major protest here in our Independence Square in the fall of 2013. The protest became a revolution, and many people died during that revolution, and they were simply fighting for their rights to be independent and to be free. I hope that one day that peace comes to us and that we will be living in a strong and prosperous country.
Не, я с обычной семьи, но я сам решил пойти на бокс. Родители не запрещали мне.
I'm from a regular family, and the decision to learn how to box was mine, because I like to fight on the street.
Правую ручку вверх, левую внизу и пошли. Раз, два, три, четыре. Раз, два, три, четыре.
I was going to elementary school, and they taught boxing in gym class. The first 3 years here, there was just a small gym. No boxing ring, nothing special. It was 1996. I was 12 years old. I was in the 8th grade and I immediately loved boxing. It's exciting to see my pictures on this wall. My hero when I was a child was Vladimir Klitschko. And now I hope children will be inspired by me to follow their dreams. It's emotional to be here because many important things happened to me in this school. My first competitions were here, and I remember the whole village coming to watch me fight. But the best thing that happened to me at the school here was that I met my wife, Olga.
Познакомились мы в школе, в детстве, можно сказать. Я еще была молодая, Витя тоже. Встретились на дискотеке. Он пригласил меня потанцевать.
Виктор выходил, видел и прогонял.
My wife can't come to the fight because she's pregnant with twin boys and she is due right around the date of the fight. My dream is to bring the WBC and WBO belts back to the Ukraine, one for each child.
Я был все время в сборной команде Украины. Занимал второе и третье место.
I fought 250 amateur fights and I was always on the Ukrainian national team. But I was always the second or third best fighter in my weight class. So when the time came to go to the Olympics, they did not choose me. There was no opportunity to make money fighting amateurs. And I needed to make money in order to feed my family. So I got a job as a mall security guard.
Это Николай.
This is Nikolai. He is the head security here at the mall, and he was the one who hired me. Now, when I go to this mall, people recognize me. They ask for pictures, and the security guards say to people, he used to work security here, and now he is a world champion.
Ну, я тренировался и здесь работал, то Николай с пониманием относился иногда.
When I worked here, I was still training, still fighting, and Nikolai would let me leave early to train. But it got too hard to manage my schedule, to train properly and hold down this job. I couldn't work and train, and once I realized that I could be a great fighter, I left this job.
Я верю в тебя. Ребята, которые тебя знают, вот, и пускай победит сильнейший.
I turned pro in 2007, and after a long 8 years, I am a world champion. Of course, I'm ready. Every day I have been training in my village. And now I'll go to Los Angeles to get into perfect shape for the fight.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought. I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postol, Saturday, July 23rd, live on pay-per-view.
Muchísimas gracias, amigos. El día 23 de julio, el MGM de Las Vegas, Nevada, será el escenario del combate de unificación de títulos mundiales entre estos dos hombres. De Ucrania, Viktor Postol, campeón del Consejo Mundial de Boxeo en peso superligero, y de Omaha, Nebraska, Terence Crawford.
And without any question, they are the two best 140-pounders around today.
Боксировать с Крофордом, то, что он
Once I
говорит...
met him at the press conference, I knew he did not want to fight. He had an opportunity to fight me earlier, and he and his team did not want to do that for whatever reason. But when I looked into his eyes, I knew he did not want to fight. Training camp here in America is completely different from Kiev. Over there, there's always something going on. I have too many distractions, phone calls all day, family and friends always around. Here I can completely focus.
He thinks. He sets everything up very nicely. The jab is his best weapon, and he's got the reach advantage over most of his opponents. He doesn't really go for the knockout until he's ready. Crawford switches and he boxes well from both sides, but nothing new. It's not new to boxing, that's for sure. He's not the first guy in the world.
So we've seen this like millions of times in our lives. There's nothing really complicated. So I'm not worried about it.
What are you worried about?
Nothing.
Why?
My guy's a better fighter.
Top, catch, there we go. I don't think Freddie Roach is going to bring anything to the game of Postol to beat me, Terence. I don't think it's going to happen. I know it ain't going to happen. For the simple fact, 6 weeks is not going to change a fighter.
A coach can train a fighter and tell a fighter to do something, but in the heat of the moment, a fighter is going to always go back to what he used to do. He liked to grab a lot, liked to use his elbows.
As soon as he get popped, as soon as that pressure get put on him, he's going to back up, he's going to hold, he's going to do what he can do to stop the confrontation.
I think he's going to run and hold, to be honest. If I run and hold, I won't get the win because he's from here. I need to win confidently.
You know, Terence Crawford is going to be in against a taller fighter, a longer fighter, and yeah, he may have speed and he may have the southpaw stance that he can go to, but in the end, how's he going to get on the inside of that jab? That's the big question. I've
been fighting people taller than me and longer than me all my life. I've been short for 28 years, and they haven't stopped me yet.
His intelligence is what really sets him apart. His intelligence in the sense of making adjustments, of setting you up inside the ring, and becoming the fighter that he has become today because of his ring intelligence. So his IQ is something that maybe we take for granted or is overlooked, when in essence, his opponents always point to that.
It's the patient, rangy, calm, collected fighter who seems unflappable and has a sneaky power that at any point can stop a fighter like Lucas Matisse, and a guy who you know is looking at every shot to knock you out, who comes in there, who is mean, who is gritty, who has skills, but is that streak of savage viciousness. That's Terence Crawford. So when two guys like this meet, it's a chess match.
But yes, we're definitely hurting. We're definitely hurting. We're definitely hurting Postol. All you gotta do is take that body weight and everything else gonna fall.
He's nothing to me. He's just another guy that I'm fighting.
Well, we're the champion. We're not the underdog in this fight, I feel. I think he's probably the favorite because we're fighting in America, and my guy hasn't been on American TV as much as Crawford has. I honestly think this is a 50-50 fight. The best two guys in a division fighting each other, and it's a good thing to happen. The best man will win and go on to bigger and better things, and the loser will go back to Nebraska.
I want to see a fight. I want to see a fight that reminds me of the good old days, when fighters actually fought. I want to see the best against the best. No ducking, no excuses. Just two real undefeated champions that know when the bell rings, it's time to give the fans what they want.
Crawford versus Postol, Saturday, July 23rd, live on pay-per-view.